Okay, fifth graders, we are starting chapter 15, section 1. And today I have a substitute, so I don't know if you guys will be watching this with the whole class on the screen or if you'll just have to watch it individually on your own Chromebooks. It would make more sense if you guys could just watch the whole class, but that's okay. Whatever works out for the substitute. So anyways, let's take a look at this here. It says Lindsay has a sage plant that's 3.5 inches tall or 3.5 inches tall, and a rosemary plant that's looks like 5.2 inches tall. Both plants grow. They both grow at 1.5 inches taller each week. And then it says, how tall would the plants be after 5 weeks? And then what's the relationship between the heights of the plants? So they, down here in section B, they write this out for us. So here's the sage plant on the left side and the rosemary plant on the right side, and it's their starting heights for each one. 3.5 for the sage and 5.2 for the rosemary plant, and then they're just adding 1.5 each week. And so 3.5 plus 1.5 is 5, and 1.5 plus, 5 plus 1.5 is 6.5, and 6.5 plus 1.5, remember it's growing 1.5 inches each week, is 8. And then so you can just take this chart here and line it up and see what happens after 5 weeks and how tall it is. And then you can see that it's at 5 weeks it's 11 inches tall, and for the rosemary plant in 5 weeks it's 12.7 inches tall. And they point out that the rosemary plant here is always 1.7 inches taller because they're both growing at the exact same 1.5 inches each week. That's not changing at all. So down at the convince me, and hopefully that makes sense to you guys here. Down at the convince me, it says, if the patterns continue, how can you tell that the rosemary plant will always be taller than the sage plant? Well, you can phrase that in several different ways. If well, gosh, how could you say that? So the rosemary plant, it starts 1.7 inches taller, and that height difference never changes. And it never changes, that's, because that's the question, if the patterns continue. In other words, it doesn't change. One doesn't start growing faster or slower than the other. So, okay, let's take a look at the guided practice here. Move this down. Okay, it says, do you understand guided practice number 1? Anthony says the pattern is that the sage plant will always be 1.7 inches shorter than the rosemary plant. Do you agree? Yeah, I would. Yes, I would agree with that statement. You could also say that the pattern is that the rosemary plant is always 1.7 inches taller. So either one would work. Yes, do you agree? Yes, explain. Well, if the pattern does not change, the height difference will always be 1.7 inches. Okay. Number 2, how does making tables help you identify the relationships? It is easy to compare. When you have a table and you can line them up and compare each week to each week. Number 3, if the plants continue to grow 1.5 inches each week, how tall will each plant be after 10 weeks? You know what? I like that classcraft question right there. I think you guys can just extend the table. Instead of the table that we looked at the previous page, it went to 5 weeks, so you're going to have to extend it to 10 weeks. And then number 4, if the plants continue to grow 1.5 inches each week, how tall will each plant be in 15 weeks? Another one. Again, you'll just continue with the table. Instead of going to 5 weeks and then to 10 weeks, you'll go all the way to 15 weeks. So there's a couple classcraft questions for you. Number 5 here. Tim and Jill each have a piggy bank. Tim starts with, looks like $1.25 in his bank and puts in 50 cents each week. Okay, so I'm going to highlight that here. That sounds like some important information. $1.25 and 50 cents each week. And so this is Tim right here. Okay, and they even give us that information. Put it in the first chart for us. Okay, then Jill starts with $2.75 and also puts in 50, and here's Jill. Okay. And complete the table to show how much money each has saved after 5 weeks. And so you can see the table goes to 5 weeks. So you're just going to start adding this up. So the very first one here, if you add 50 cents, it's going to become $1.75. And then for Jill, if you're going to add 50 cents, what's it become? $3.25. And then you'll just finish up the chart. Number 6, what relationship do you notice between the amount Tim has saved and the amount Jill has saved each week? So I'll start this question, but I'll let you guys finish it. What's the relationship? That Jill always has how much more? Always has, and I'll let you fill that in, more than Tim. How much more does she always have? Then it says, if Tim and Jill continue saving in this way, how much will each have saved, not just one of them, each, after 10 weeks? Okay, so I like that. Another classcraft question for you. Of course, that one's in blue now. Okay, let's look at the last page here. Okay. Let's see here. Bur, oak, and hickory trees are deciduous, which means they lose their leaves seasonally. So in the wintertime, their leaves drop. A bur oak is 25.5 feet tall and grows 1.5 feet each year. A hickory is 30 feet tall and grows 1.5 feet each year. Complete the chart to show the heights of the two trees each year for 5 years. Okay, you guys can do that. If each tree continues to grow 1.5 feet each year, how tall will they be after 15 years? Number 9 I'm looking at. Yeah, you guys can do that. Number 10, what's the relationship that you notice between the height of the bur oak and the height of the hickory each year? Well, remember, they're both growing at 1.5 feet each year, so whatever the difference is between the two is going to remain the same. 11, reasoning. Each small square on the chessboard is the same size. The length of a side of a small square is 2 inches. What is the area of the chessboard? So in other words, so these are squares, so all 4 are the same. So if I was to just take this little square here and expand it, and I could even actually cut one out here. I'm just going to do that. It'll be really small, but whoops. Undo. I need to do a rectangle. I'm just going to cut one out here. Okay. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to drag it over here, and I'm going to make it bigger. Okay, so that square right there, okay, this is 2 inches, this is 2 inches, this side is 2 inches, and this side is 2 inches. And so it says the length of the side of a small square is 2 inches. What is the area of the chessboard? How do you figure out area? Do you guys remember area? Area equals length times width. So that's going to be what? 2 times 2 equals. But they're asking for the whole chessboard, so you're going to have to do some counting here. How many little squares are there? All right? And you're going to have to figure out how many inches across. So I actually like this one. We'll see. See if anybody gets it. Classcraft points. Yeah. All right, 12 and 13, you guys can do those. So that's it. I will see you guys, well, yeah, I'll see you online, not Thursday, Wednesday day. So, miss you guys already, darn it. I wish I didn't have to be gone, but I do. So, I will see you guys Wednesday morning, and be good for the substitute. I don't want to see any names on a list. That's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.